So it's Wednesday the 29th, and where's that? And we're fishing in Bay 28 on River Humber. I'm back at Humber again. It's the closest place for me to fish. Tide is, I don't know if you can pick that up, you might just be able to see it, it's bluey grey probably, but the water is now to the first row of stones, second row of stones. I could go down there and fish, but it's dark and I can't be arsed. If I was 18, I'd be climbing over that wall, rushing down there as quick as I can to catch all the fish, whereas at my age I think I'll just wait for it to come in and hopefully catch a couple. But we're I don't laugh at this, but I'm gonna target cod. Yes, there is cod in this river because I was fishing Bay 27 last week and a couple of cod were pulled out in the bay next to me, so I've come down early because in cod season you have to get here early, stupidly early, to get yourself a good bay, or the bay that you like. So just trying to mask the microphone, and the wind's blowing away. So I've got me two faithful Shakespeare Surf Agilities, 15 foot, 4 to 8 ounce, and on that I've got a 6 ounce just to see if it'll hold bottom, but I don't think it will. And I've got an 8 ounce, 2 pulley pennel rigs, and I've got black lug and heron, because that's the first bait that was defrosted enough for me to hook up. So that's what I've got. I've got it on a Gemini release at the bottom. I'm fishing 70 pound leader onto 24 pound Ruvex times 10 hard skin, so that because it's rocky, just don't want my lines to get all gnarly. Now I've fished a couple of times here, and I've fished rough ground at in the Lake District at Silcroft with these reels with a Ruvex times 10, and I haven't felt any nicks and any scratching on the line, so it must be quite hard line. I will double check that and keep my eye on it, but hopefully it's good line. Obviously it won't cast out as far as a 0.22 diameter line, obviously, but that's what I've got. I've got 2 spills with heavy line on for rough ground, and I've also got 2 spills for clean beaches with a very, well, I think it's 0.3, I think it's 0.3 or 0.25 line on, so I'll get to find out how far it'll cast with a different diameter line on. They reckon it casts out further if you've got a smaller line, but we shall see. With a ropey cast like mine, it should tell me, shouldn't it? Might just gain a couple of yards, but yeah. So it's Bay 28, River Humber. We're targeting cod. I haven't got any fresh bait. It's all frozen with me because I live inland, so the bait that I can get is frozen bait. But I do keep it cold, and I keep it in a Tronics, or I've got the IMAX, whatever it is, bait bag. I've got a couple of bait bags. That's the new one. I've bought another camera as well. I don't know if you can see that. That's my second camera. I've got a light on it. This light has got a filter on the front of this, that's why it's not so bright. And that one I've got no filter on it, so that I can film outside a bit better. but it does dazzle you because the light is very bright. Tide tonight is at 8:38. It's a 6.9 metre tide. Sea state is very smooth. They said it was slight, but it's oh, my spaghetti bolognese. Bugger. Oh, thank God for that, it ain't burnt. It's a bit sticky on the bottom. Yeah, it's burnt. Still, never mind. Must be hot now, isn't it? That's hot. What I'll do is turn that off. So, where was I? Yeah, 6.9 metre tide. Sea state is slight. High tide's at 8:38 PM. But it's bordering on mill pond. I've got a wind is coming over my back, so I've got that helping me to cast. Yes, not a bad night. It's a bit windy. They said it was going to be an F5 tonight, but it don't feel like it's an F5, but it is windy. So I'm going to sign off now and eat my spaghetti bolognese, so see you in a bit. Well, that's the first cast out. Both rods are out. That was just a I've got this light here, which is a Tronics Pro. You've got a switch for switching it on, switch off at the top side. If you switch that on and go like that with your hand, the light comes on, and then go back with your hand, it goes off. That's alright until you start having it on your head and you go like this or something like that with your hand and you turn it off. But it's handy because you can just go on. And that light, that's a backup light. I've got two of them. Battery pack on the back. Just has AAA batteries in. But I use that for when it's just getting dusky into darkness, or if my other one runs out of battery. But my main light is a Phoenix well, can't remember which Phoenix it is. It's a 50, I'm not sure. We'll call it the 50. Anyhow, it's charges up with USB, batteries in there, which is probably a bad thing because when the battery gets buggered, it'll be buggered. But it's very bright. That's low. Next one. Next one. Next one. Full power. and then you can zoom it in for a pinpoint. So I normally have it on that one. That lasts a fishing session. You can have it on lower, you can have it on that, and it'll probably last 20 hours. But I'm afraid that when you're 50, you like to see things properly. Well, there's not a lot happening there, is there? Wind's died down again now. It was like this when I arrived, and then it gusted up. But now it's gone quiet again. Keeps gusting occasionally, but overall the wind isn't too bad. The one thing with these rods is when it is windy, you have to put them down low in the tripod like I have done here. It's just 4 rings shown, you can put it down lower, but the trouble is my rod sticks out in the roadway, so you put it down low. But then what happens when it's really windy, these start going up and down like that because the wind's blowing on it, and it does that. Not to that extent, but it does move. And obviously when it's windy, it tips, so you can lower it down lower and just have this section here in your rod rest like this. Look, if it's really windy, you can drop it right down to that height. But the problem I've got is that you can see the road. Now I'm just in now. It's because I moved my tripod forward a bit. But yeah. Let's move them back up. Yeah, it's gusting again now. But I ain't got anything yet. The rod on the left is moving round. I've got a 6-ounce weight on that. Every time I come here, I always fish with a 210 gram weight. I expect I could just use the 6-ounce, keep reeling it in a bit more often, but I just like to hold bottom. Sometimes you can't even hold bottom with a 210 gram. Obviously with chucking a weight out that size, I have noticed that you can't throw it out as fast, so there is its limitations. But you don't want your line rolling around everywhere and getting tangled up, not here. But there. Tide's coming in. We've got, I certainly wouldn't be fishing at this low down if I was when the tide's going down. I'd have them reeled in, packing up by now. I have fished it to this low where you can see this weed down the bottom there. I suppose you might be able to see it, I don't know. But it's a bit dodgy and gets snagged up. Out front's alright. The water's nearly high enough to get above the weed. Still got a little bit to go. So hopefully if I get a bite in the next 10 minutes, quarter an hour, that'd be great. And I'll reel it in, and there'll be a great big fat 6-pound cod on there. Yeah. I'd have to think seriously about whether I kept it as well. It's tricky in the wind whether you're looking at your rod topping about because of the wind or whether it's a bite. But there, back in a bit. Right, here's me next rig that I'm going to cast out. It's a pulley panel. I've got the clip at the top there, which is hooked over my tripod. Bead and a swivel. And then down here we've got a Gemini breakaway. And then I've got two 3/0 hooks on there. And I've got a black lug worm with a piece of squid, half of a piece of squid, the mantle. Bait elastic on. It's a pulley panel, 2 hooks. I've elasticated that on quite tight onto the hook because I learned last week I missed some bites because my hooks were loose. So that's it, and a 210 gram weight. That's it. That noise you can hear, which will be really loud on this, it's this factory. You can see all them lights on. That factory used to be called Millennium, I think. Don't quote me on it. I think it's Vernox now, or Verox, or something like that. But again, I said in the last video when I was at Humber that they do chemicals. It's a chemical plant. They make chemicals for all sorts of things, I think, but they make, one of the chemicals they make is the pigment for brilliant white paint. So I've dropped these rods right low down in the rest now, as I was talking about before. Moved the tripod further forward and moved them down. There is no bites yet. I did cast over there at 4 o'clock, let's say, and it's now on the clock face, and it's now about 10 past at 2 o'clock, sorry. So I cast out there at 4 o'clock and it's gone round there now. It's about 2 o'clock on a clock face. It's pull of the tide coming in. The time was between 6 and 7 because old Farage is on the radio. I haven't had any knocks. I've got lugworm and heron on these rigs at the minute, and they're pulley panels. So, and I've just took the butt end of the rods out of the cups on the tripod, so it's low down, so the back of the rod's on the floor, as you can see. Turn the light round. That's it. I don't know what you're picking up, but I'm sure you're picking up more than I've got this light on the tripod here, and it don't really yeah, it does, it lights up. Just bought some lights and stuff, and bought another camera. They aren't expensive cameras, they're only well, this camera is the new camera. This was £30. It was reduced from £70 on Amazon, so I bought it. I was going to buy two, but I thought I've already got one, but you don't know how long they're going to last with fish guts getting all in the camera and stuff, so you got to buy them when they're on offer. But I think buying some little bits there and lights and stuff, it just makes it a bit better for the video. It just lightens it up, because it is hard filming at night time. When it's dark, you see a lot of videos where it's quite dark, and it's hard work. So I just thought I'd buy a couple of lights, get a couple of cameras rather than just having one. I find that I might set a camera up. That's another thing, I set a camera up sometimes when it's daylight, so you've got another perspective for filming, but at night time, unless this was floodlit up, I don't see the point really. Now them lines are dragging right round now. They've literally gone from 2 o'clock to 1 o'clock, literally in the last few minutes. So I was one bay down the other day, and it was quite pleasant actually. It was quite pleasant actually fishing there as well. So I've parked the van to try and shield me from the wind. I'm saying this now really just for myself, so that when I see the video back I'll know if that actually works. There's a chap fishing down there in the bay next to me. I don't think he's caught anything yet. But there you go. I shall bring you back when well, I shan't bring you back. I'll come back to you when no boats there. I'll come back to you when I'm reeling the rods in, I think. Rebait up, cast out. That'll probably be in about 5 minutes. That's my tripod. Right. Crazy, like a madman. Got that snotty weed still that we had last week, right snotty stuff it is. touch. Put a new one on. Plenty of bait. Yeah. Yes, I've got a rig there. I probably should. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Just stick that there. I want to make sure that when I hook it, it's hooked well on the hook don't move on the bait. I don't want the same thing to happen to me again as last time there when I didn't bait the hook up properly. So, let's get that casted out. Just another edge dump, I ain't doing anything fancy. It's out there. That's a nice cast. I need to cast further that way. I mean, I thought I cast quite there, but obviously I haven't. Unless the tides took it down, it's ended up hitting the floor there. We'll just see how it goes. Let me show you. There we are. Well, should have brought me swimming shorts, shouldn't I? I could have fished in them. It's that warm. It's all right. It's not cold. The wind's a bit much. It is windy. It's not cold. I'm sure if you was just lay there doing nothing though, without any warm clothes on, it'd be cold. But that's the wind on my rods. It's hard work sometimes to see when you have got a bite, but normally with me I don't normally have a bite. But there, let's keep optimistic about it. We're out for the cod. There's cod here. There's thousands of cod here. I'm trying to catch the cod that the European Union ain't caught. I don't know how many left there is. There's got to be some fish out there, ain't there? I remember 1980, 81, 82, when I used to go sea fishing a lot. I remember there being loads of fish. You'd cast out, you'd reel in. You'd cast out, you'd reel in. Yes, you'd have times when you didn't get a bite, but it was never like this. Never like this. Just keep the fingers crossed that cod's going to go on that hook. Fresh bait out. Look, that line is out there where the other one is. Now I casted that right over there. This is at 2 o'clock. On a clock face, as I'm facing the river, this is at 2 o'clock, these lines. And I cast it out at 4. That was way that way. That tide is ripping in. It's not high tide yet. We've got quite a way to go, really. I don't know if you can see that down there. It's a 6.9 metre tide again, like I said. Oh, that's bright. A bit possibly a bit bad. Yeah, it's a 6.9 metre tide. Time is 7 o'clock, so we've got an hour and 40 minutes before high tide. So according to last week when I was here, same height of tide, 6.9, it came right up to the wall behind me, because this bay, obviously it's a bay, you know what a bay is, projects out into the water, but the tide goes right back and up, so right out the front you've possibly got 4 or 5 foot of water, I would say 4 or 5 foot of water, and so you've got plenty of depth there. Keeping an eye on these rods because I want the fish. That's going to rattle in a minute. That's going to go like that. Ooh! Oh, it's the wind. Was it the wind? Yeah, it's got to be the wind. Right, anyhow. I'll be back in a bit. If I put it there, you might be able to see these lines. And it's just whizzing around. This one's held, it hasn't moved. So it's either snagged or it's holding bottom. This one's still rolling around. Right there. Next time I cast, I shall leave the bay line off longer and just keep an eye on the line and make sure that weight settles. hopefully grip the bottom before I put the bail arm over. That's just constantly moving around. I mean, I was there when I said to you last time. It was there. Look, I've gone again. We'll just leave that to settle. What we'll do. It's gone tight already, look. It's gone tight on its own. You know when you normally cast out and then once it's hit the bottom you take up the slack? So that's what I'm probably doing wrong. I had improved that. That's where I am. I'll take it on there. I have started to cast out, and then once it hits the water and the line stops coming off, I then leave it a few seconds, expecting it to hit the floor by then put the rod back and just take the slack up. But this time I've cast out right up there, put it back, no more line coming off, and just closed the bail arm and left it. And by the time I walked up to here, this is solid. So the line, as you can see, it's nice and tight. Look. So it's what I've been doing wrong today is that I've been taking the slack up. This light's ever so bright. I've got this. So what I need to do, same as what I did then, cast out, let the line reel off. Once it stops, chuck the bail arm over, hang the rod up and just leave it, and it'll tighten up. If it don't tighten up, I'll tighten it up. Now it's not moving like it was before. Before it was literally rolling along the bottom, and so that should be better now. Anyhow, this camera that I'm using at this moment in time, I've got no filter. I've said it before, but it does dazzle you when you do it holding it up, filming yourself. But I've got it so that it lights up as you're seeing now, and hopefully you can see what I'm seeing. Anyhow, that's this camera. The other camera's got a filter on it, on the light, so that it doesn't dazzle me, and I keep picking the wrong camera up. The problem is, the reason for it is this is the new camera, and I want to know what the quality of this is like. But hopefully it'll all be alright. Anyhow, that tide is the tide's coming in really fast. I've just looked at the tide with my torch on it, and it's ripping in. This line now is held bottom, so something else to learn. You always learn something, don't you? Probably really knew it, but you just forget about these things, don't you? And then when you have problems, you start thinking about what can you do to make it better. And then when you make it better and sort the problem out, you think to yourself, well, you should have known that, boy, because that's quite straightforward. My first tip of the night: cast out and don't reel in the slag, just let it settle. Once it's settled, if it's slack, reel a little in. Never thought I'd give out tips. Didn't think I was good enough at fishing to give out tips. It's amazing. That's the wind. Could do with a stiffer rod really for this river. If you could get a really stiff rod with big eyes and a big tip eye like I like at the river, and just the last 6 to 10 inches bouncy for boat to take, that'd be a good rod. But all the stiff rods I've got have got small eyes, so they'll just snag up all the time with the weed, and then your weight will get stuck. My bait. So here's my next one. That's black lug with a squid wrapped around it, and this one is just a piece of herring. So I've got some squid hair. I could tip the herring off with a piece of squid. Got a squid head. And then I've got half a mackerel there. I've got lots of other bait. I certainly ain't going to run out of bait, but the next 2 rigs will have squid and lug and herring. So I'm going to have to chop this. Look at that. Look at this. That's my fishing line. But the lucky thing about it is my leader knot's down there. So if I cut that off, I'm not going to lose much line, and I could just retie my leader on. I don't. I don't really fancy untangling that. Now, how has that happened? How has that happened? Do I try and save some of that line? It's as though it's not tight. God knows. Look at that. Right, just keep an eye on the rubber rod and decide what I'm going to do. So I've just reeled that rod in, the left hand rod, and as I reeled it in, I'm lucky to have got my rig and weight back, because this got tangled into my tip eye. Can you see this knot here? So I think my line had got caught on something out there, and that's what was holding my line straight, and then my weight was rolling around everywhere and got itself into a right knot. I reeled it in and actually managed to get it in, and even when I hand pulled in my weight, I managed to get that in as well. I had to jump over the side just to unhook it off the rocks at the bottom, cut that line off, and I've retied my leader on here. There's my leader knot with a small part of the leader. So I've retied, cast it. I've only lost that line, it's not a huge amount of line. Take your waste on with you. What I was saying, until I realised that the battery had run out, is I've already gathered up loads of line, and I found a fishing weight, which was lucky. But here, can you see this? That is concrete from the wall, which has blown off, and there and here, look, it's all loose. Can you see that? It's all loose because idiots, because they are idiots, because there's no problem having a fire here if you had it over here in a vessel. But what they do is they must build a fire in the corner there. It messes all the rubber up for the seal, for the rubber joints for this, and the heat from the fire heats the moisture up that's in the concrete, which is trapped in the concrete, and that turns to steam and blows the concrete off. So at some point somebody's going to come around there, because they do repair these walls. They do repair these walls and put a sealer in the joints, and what will happen is they'll see that and they'll just stop people from fishing there, or they'll stop access, so you can still fish here but there's no access. It's annoying, very annoying. But you can see that light portion on the wall there that I've just shown you, and that's through a fire being lit there, and it's just blown the concrete off when it's got hot. But they'll either stop access up there eventually when they get hacked off enough, or they'll still allow you to have access, but you won't be able to take your car on it, so you'd have to walk. People ought to look, I mean, it's fantastic to be able to fish here. You would expect people to look after the fact, wouldn't you? But people don't, do they? But there you go. Anyhow, update on the fishing, and that is update on the fishing, and we ain't caught anything. That's worrying, isn't it? I cast that over there and it's over there already. I did me don't wind it in, let the line stay out there trick as well. Oh, I don't know. Anyhow, no cottage yet. We shall keep persevering. We shall succeed. We will get a cod. Got squid on there now, whole squid. I've had slivers of squid on. Main bait tonight's been black, everything's been black lug with squid, or black lug with heron. I need to fix this air. It's been like it ever since I got the van. I'm just going to drill some holes and pop some screws in. I'm going to put a hook up there as well, so that I can hang my tilly lamp, because I've got 5 or 6 tilly lamps, and I always like bringing it. Gives off a bit of heat as well. Anyhow, where was I? Yeah, I've had black lug with not the best black lug, but I've had black lug with everything. Tipped with squid, wrapped with squid, herring. This is a squid on its own now. So we'll see what happened with that. It's the last cast. Now, you might pick that up. You can just see the seaweed floating in the water now. So where the rocks are, it's probably a foot, might be a foot and a half under the water. So you've got to have that weight skimming that surface of the water so that you don't get snagged up out there. So this is the last one. I'm knackered, my hip hurts. That's the other thing, isn't it? You get home, you've been there fishing, you feel tired. You get home after an hour's drive, and then you got to hump all your fishing stuff out your van into the garage. Sort your bait out, because there's been many a time I've gone out the next day and thought, geez, I ain't put my bait in the freezer. You've got to do your bait, rinse your reels, and then I need a shower. I'm at work at 7, which isn't too bad. I still want a lager. I want to catch up on any videos that are out there. See how many views I got on my new video, my thank you for the 100+ subscribers video. I'd like to see that. See if I've got any comments. I don't get too many comments, but I do get the odd comment. So I'd like to have a look at that. And I expect time now. Let's see. Time is 21:47, so it's an hour after high tide already. 21:47, so it'll be 10 o'clock. It might be 10:15, 10:30 by the time I leave there, 11:30. Wife will be in bed, kids will be in bed, cat will come up and give me a purr and a rub round my leg and want a fuss. Can of lager, watch the telly, shower. I expect I'll be in bed for It's been nice though. It's been nice fresh air. Even with a factory just over there, it's been nice and fresh. I've had the radio on. It's been pleasant. Gather your thoughts. I wonder if we'll get a fish on this last cast. Last chance at a cod. I don't care if it's a little tiny one. There ain't even any whiting about. Mind you, every tide is different. I don't understand why that line is knotted up. It's either knotted up in the cast, something's hooked on the bottom, the line might have got round something, but then I haven't had a snag, it could have got all knotted up in the water, I suppose. I don't know if said I wouldn't do this, but if anybody knows why it's got knotted up, I'll show you the line. This is it. Yeah. See this knot here? This here. That's what it's like on my reel again now. Not this. This is just line that's a bit tangled, but this bit here is really tangled, and that come in like that. So it's either got knotted up like that in the cast or in the water. I don't know how, but it's right knotted up. Look, it's... If anyone knows, give us a shout and let me know why it's knotted up, if you watch this far into the video. If it's the case of it's knotting up in the air during the cast, then I'll not cast out as far. A lot of line does come off, and I weren't holding bottom, so I let the line go out and then I just left it. So it could have been a case of that, but it hasn't done it every time, you see. It's only done it the 2 times, and it's been on the same rod. But I expect that don't mean anything. Anyhow, I'll bring you back when I reel this rod in. Alright, cheers, thanks. Well, as you can see, rods are gone, bait is gone, everything's getting put away. That's it, me done. We will get a cod. I pulled that rod in right sharp because the tide's gone right down quick. It's a high tide tonight, 6.9. Not a good tide, normally in the 7 metres, but this time of year I haven't seen a tide in the 7+ metres, so 6.9 is as best you're going to get, but it seems to have gone down right quick, so I had to pull in sharp before it got tangled up in the weed. So thank you for watching. If you've got this far, please subscribe, like, ring that bell, and put a comment in if you want. It's all good. Alright, thanks for watching. I'm off now. See you later. Right, Tom, this is for your information so that you know what I'm doing. So I'm leaving this camera on, but I need the radio on, mate, because that's better. I need the radio on because I need to listen to music or chat show, whatever. But with the footage from this camera, you can just do it as a fill-in, can't you, and put it here and there, because it'll look the same. But it is actually fishing from now. But if I get a fish or I'm reeling in, I'll turn the radio off so that you can actually use me talking. But I'm just going to be sitting there watching my rods, and this will be recording it, so there's some footage. Yeah. but there'll be a radio on. But I'm sure you can just cut the audio off, can't you? And just play my favourite song, or one or three. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do.